Go to the next one. Says, hi, I'm Jeen Chaudhari. It's my first time submitting a portfolio for review. Thank you for giving this opportunity. It's really helpful for me. I went to work as a stylized props and environment artist. I'm making 3D props for the past 3-4 months by using Maya, ZBrush, Substance Painter, and rendering in Unreal Engine 5. I'm a college student and graduating at the end of next year. Thank you for your time. Okay, so if you've only been doing things for the past 3 to 4 months, you're, I would say, on the early stages of your career. Let's see how you're doing. But yeah, it's fine. Again, I'm not gonna be too harsh with you, my friend, because you've only been doing this for 3 or 4 months. So it's looking good. You're on a good track. There's not much I can tell you or share with you right now that you're not gonna get from the shorts and the videos on YouTube. That's why we try to allow portfolios only from people who have been doing this for at least a year, so that you're already getting into like the more advanced stuff. The one thing I can tell you is your saturation is, again, all over the place. So things are way too saturated, and be very careful with the metal edgeware. I'll show it to you. I haven't shown this technique in a while. So for everyone that does like any type of like anything on instead of substance, a very common thing that you guys do is as follows. Let's say this is going to be a wood character, right? So let's add the wood. By the way, you can right click and then instantiate across texture sets, and whatever I do on one layer is going to affect everyone. So let's imagine we're doing this like matte here, and we want to do wood, and we want to add like wood scratches and things like that. What everyone does, every single person does this, is they'll add a new material, they'll add a generator, and they'll add the metal edgeware. This looks horrible, my friends. Horrible. Why? Because objects in the real world, they do not get damaged uniformly. They always get damaged, again, like in specific situations. They get damaged on the areas where they're going to be affected the most by human hands or movement or whatever. So let me instantiate this across the whole thing. There you go. So now, as you can see, we have metal edgeware everywhere, which is not what we want. So first things first, you want to blend things. Like this right here just looks like one generator on top of the other. You want to blend things. I personally really like linear dodge when I'm adding this metal edgeware because it makes things very bright. And then you can lower the opacity a little bit to make sure that it's definitely damaged, but not too obvious, not too damaged. And there's a couple of ways in which you can break up this metal edgeware. First way, adding filters. I really like adding this warp filter at the very end. What that will do, as you can see right there, is it's gonna break up the effect a little bit more, and instead of having this like super uniform metal edgeware, it's gonna warp it a little bit and generate an interesting effect. Okay, so that's the first thing that you can do, a little bit of a warp, and that's gonna like break up your noise. And the next thing, which is my favorite thing to do, is add a fill layer, and on the fill layer, look for something like a clouds. Okay, like this one right here. What the clouds will do is it will work as a sort of like a mask, and what I can do is I can find very high contrast here, very low valence, something like this. And what I want is for this clouds generator to be multiplying against what we have underneath, and we only need to change this from normal to multiply. What that will do, as you can see right here, is instead of having the metal edgeware in every single edge, it's now breaking it up, and we're only having it on some edges of the element. Really cool, right? And the cool thing is, again, this is procedural, so I can define how little or how much of this effect I want on my character, making this look way more interesting. But that's not it. Let's add one more layer here. I'm gonna add another fill layer, and for instance, let's add a scratches layer. So if I look for scratches here, let's say something like this one right here, what I can do is I can change this not to multiply, but to linear dodge add, because I want to add this scratches to all of the masks that I have over here. This is all math, by the way, guys. This is all math that we are using. And now, as you can very clearly see right here, we can also control how much of or how many of those scratches we have. And this is going to give us a damaged wood effect that we can use. Now, you guys want to know what the best thing about this is? I can control G this whole thing and just rename this. And I'm gonna call this old damaged wood. Right click and make this a smart material. So anytime I need this material, I can just literally drag and drop this here from my element, and it's gonna affect everything in a very similar way. So if I go now to file, and let's open a sample project, let's grab the jade toad, for instance. And I just drag that material right there. Boom. Right? By doing that, now this element right here, this frog, has the exact same wood material with the exact same damage and stuff. This is the importance of working procedural here inside, because imagine we're doing a world where we have cabinets, tables, chairs, and we want everything to be from the same wood. This is our materials are going to help us to make sure that everything looks very, very similar. So again, be very careful with the metal edgeware and be very careful with how you blend and mix the layers so that you can get the best result. So yeah, my friend, just keep working. Jeen, keep working. You're still on the early stages of your career. Learn as much as you can. Keep improving.